In this video, we are going to be calibrating the Sartorius Quintets 1102 Precision Lab Balance. Balance calibration is crucial in the laboratory and industrial applications where high accuracy is a must. Calibration for weighing devices is a requirement for most companies' quality programs such as ISO, GLP, GMP, USP, etc., and other quality management and equipment qualifications. Calibration can either be performed manually or automatically with the quintets. During manual calibration, the balance requires you to put a 1 kilogram weight on the balance. During automatic calibration, on the other hand, it relies on the internal calibration weight. The internal calibration feature is found on the Quintets and Secura series, and it definitely adds for convenience. Now on the Practum series, which is a little bit very similar body style, but on the side you'll see Practum versus if you had a Quintets, it's going to say Quintets or Secura. The Practum is only external calibration. During calibration, each model requires a specific calibration weight. And this is all specified in the manual. So I printed out the page for this video on page 110 here. You'll see that on the Quintets 1102, we require a 1 kilogram, and this is going to be an this is E2, or that's what they use in Europe. I would say just use a class 1 weight for the US ASTM. The deviation, when you perform the calibration, the deviation is compared against the target value. The subsequent adjustment corrects for that deviation and reduces the permissible error limits. So, in the Secura, Practum, and Quintets, the calibration and adjustment are combined as one process. The balance is automatically adjusted after each calibration. So, let's perform a calibration using the internal calibration. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your balance is level. So we have a sprint level bubble here, and we have it right in the center. The next step, we want to make sure the pan has nothing on it. The pan is empty. We also need a stable environment with no air currents. So if we had air currents, you can see what happens when I wave my hand. So we need a stable environment altogether. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to zero the balance. Then we want to go into the menu key, which is in the lower left-hand corner. Then we'd like to, our menu is right here, the menu structure, we want to select Cal. And now, since we want to do an internal calibration, we will select Internal. And you'll notice that the internal weight, the motor drops the weight, and it's going to perform the calibration. Now when the calibration is completed, we can see that we have a report here. And in this report, you can see the date, the time. Calibration function was internal calibration. It was started manually. The deviation, calibration deviation, was 0. The adjustment function was the internal. And the adjusted deviation, since there was no change from the last calibration, was 0.00 grams. And then we just select the X to get out of it. And now the calibration is done. So now let's try to perform a internal calibration. So again, on the internal calibration, this could be, let's now perform an external calibration. On external calibration, this procedure will be similar for all three of the series, the Practum, Quintets, and Secura. Now for external cal, again, you'll need an external weight, and this is an optional accessory. So again, we want to make sure that the weigh-in pan is empty and we have no breezes. We're in a stable environment. We first select the menu key. We then go into cal, and this time we're going to select external. And so the screen prompts us to place on a 1,000 gram weight. And so we want to place on the 1,000 gram weight in the center of the balance. And the external calibration is activated. And once again, you can see in this menu that it shows the time. And this time, the calibration function was external. It was started manually. The weight used was a 1,000 gram weight, and the calibration deviation was 0.0, and it was an external adjustment, and the adjustment deviation was 0.0. And so once again, to get out of this menu, all we simply do is press the X, we take the weight off, zero the balance out, put our weight on, and the calibration is complete. So now, if we'd like, we can put some other test weights on. Okay. This balance also has isocal. So isocal, if you notice in the screen here, it says isocal. And what isocal basically does is it would perform a internal calibration when the balance is turned on. And there's set period of times dependent upon the model. It goes by the time of last calibration. Some models it's 4 hours, some models it's 6 hours, and it also goes by the change in temperature in the area. So performing external or manual calibration, again, you have to purchase the optional calibration weights. We sell a lot of the Tromna weights, and you can also purchase something like a Tromna Cal Pack. And again, those are all optional accessories. Now, calibration weights, you do want to have them recalibrated annually by a third party. Probably Tromna, we would recommend, is the best in the industry, or that's who we have a relationship with. This is because the calibration masses over a period of time do have normal wear from fingerprints, scratches, even corrosion in the all can contribute to changes. Now briefly, we're just going to talk about reporting that this the Quintet series can save your most recent calibration reports. And so again, if you go into the lower left hand corner of the balance and press the menu key, from here we want to access, let's see, we can go in and we want to select the wrench this time, and then we can go in and collect calibration and adjustment, and then we can click report. And in the report, you can see all of the calibration reports are there. And I'll just try to zoom in a little bit closer so you can get a better idea. So you can select here, this is July 25th, 2017, and right here, the top one, and you can see it shows you the date and the time and so of the most recent one was done. Externally, we can go to the next one. If you remember, we did this internal calibration, so it shows the internal calibration, and again, any deviation is noted, and so every single one of these calibrations are stored. A maximum of 99 entries can be saved per day, and the calorie reports on the quintets are deleted after 30 days. So you can call that all up if you have some ISO or quality assurance directive that says, hey, look, we want to be able to document all these calibrations. So you can see the other time the balance was calibrated, July 24th, and here, if you notice, so now we have internal calibration, but it tells us this time that the calibration was started because it was ISOCal, and the standard deviation again was 0. Oops, and so here's one. You can see, again, it was ISOCal, and now the calibration deviation was 0.02, and so it documents everything for you. And you can see, we can just scroll through, and there's lots of cal reports there. We are Precision Weighing Balances. We're an authorized sartorius distributor, and you can either purchase your sartorius balances from either balances.com or scaleman.com. We offer the entire laboratory line at discount prices to the public. Thanks for watching this video.